Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing another comparison between two popular GLP-1 providers. Now, why am I comparing these brands and doing all the research and sharing them with you? Because as a fitness coach, a personal trainer, a women's nutrition and macro coach, these things, these GLP-1s, they are part of the industry now, and I don't think they're going to go away. They are very common, very prevalent, and I personally believe that they're only going to continue to grow and be more widespread. So, as a personal trainer, as a nutrition coach, I want to be able to equip you with the information that you need to make informed decisions, and then the information that you need to make the most of your GLP-1 journey. I'm not here to judge whether or not you're taking a GLP-1 or tell you whether or not you should be taking a GLP-1, because that's a very personal choice, and this is a judgment-free zone. But in today's video, I'm going to be comparing Willow to Eden. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, then you know I'm already very familiar with Willow. I have talked about Willow quite a bit because they are doing something that's pretty different than any other provider that I have seen thus far, and that they are prescribing GLP-1 medications for cosmetic use. So what that means is they don't really use a BMI parameter in order to allow for GLP-1 prescriptions. So they're saying, you know, if you only have 5 to 10 pounds to lose, they're happy to write a prescription for you, assuming that it's safe and sound and all those things. I'm not saying they have no boundaries when it comes to prescribing the medications. They absolutely do, but they don't put a hard, fast number on your BMI. And somebody who only has a few pounds to lose, maybe has a goal to look better for a wedding or a vacation coming up, they are happy to prescribe the medication as long as everything checks out. Now, that's totally different than most every other provider I have seen out there. For the most part, GLP-1 medications are prescribed for those who have a BMI of 30 or above, which is considered obese, or 27 or above with another qualifying medical condition, something like hypertension or type 2 diabetes. So Willow is really lowering the barrier to entry when it comes to GLP-1s. Now, somebody asked me to look into the provider Eden. I went ahead and looked into them, and this one also caught my attention because I noticed that their BMI standard was set to 23. So long as you had a BMI of 23 or above, they were willing to consider you as a candidate for GLP-1 treatments. Now, the difference between a 23 BMI and the standard 27 or 30 BMI is really big. So that includes this greater population of people who aren't necessarily on paper overweight or obese, but they are probably still struggling with a little bit of excess weight that they're maybe having a hard time getting off. Whatever the case is, Eden also is lowering the barrier to entry and allowing a larger population of people to come in and obtain these prescriptions. Of course, both Eden and Willow are doing it in a safe and doctor prescribed manner. They have real US doctors that are licensed in your state. Again, whether you are pro or against GLP-1s, the fact is this is what's going on in the industry, in the world. This is what we have going on today. And if you are somebody who is looking for a GLP-1 and maybe you've gone to some other providers, maybe you've gone to any of the really popular ones that you probably see a lot of ads for and you've been denied, these are options that might allow you to obtain the medications if this is something that you feel is going to help you on your journey. Again, no judgment from me. I think whatever, as adults, we do what we want to do with our bodies and our health, make informed decisions. The other thing I wanted to bring your attention to when it came to Eden, and I mentioned this in another video that I did on Eden, that I thought was really interesting and I actually really like about Eden, is they didn't ask you for your credit, or they ask you for your credit card, but they won't charge you right away. So the way most of these online providers works is you fill out the questionnaire, the kind of intake form, they get to know you, then they give you like a preliminary approval or denial. So if you get approved, they'll say this is, our proposed treatment plan. They allow you to choose which medications you want. For the most part, they're kind of pushing the compounded GLP-1s. So compounded medications are quite a bit less expensive. You can get name brand medications from a lot of providers. However, the compounded ones are much more affordable. They allow you to choose which one you'd like. Some providers are even doing tablets instead of injections, so that's an option out there for you as well, and something to think about if you're a little bit nervous about needles and doing the injections yourself. But with Eden, once you get to the end, you choose which medication that you would be interested in, you enter your credit card information, and then they have a disclaimer there. We aren't going to charge you until your file is reviewed by a doctor and it's got the ultimate stamp of approval on it. Then we'll charge your card and we'll go ahead and move you to the next step of the process. Whereas most of these providers will charge you right away, and then it gets sent to their doctor reviews it, and then, you know, if ultimately they're like, no, I'm actually not going to approve this for this person for whatever reason, at that point they would then process a refund. I've never heard of anybody who hasn't got a refund if they have been ultimately denied, but you know how it is. If you are going to be denied, it's better to just, it feels better if they don't take your money first. So I thought that was something unique and pretty cool with Eden. Overall, both companies are very supportive of weight loss. They're very inclusive, very judgment-free, both pretty female-friendly. I would say Willow is definitely very geared towards females specifically. By the way, if you're looking for a very female-friendly brand that focuses on women over the age of 35 who might be going through perimenopause, menopause, all those hormonal shifts and changes, and you're looking for somebody to be supportive, understanding, and inclusive, you should also check out Josie. I will leave a link down in the description for that. I'll leave a link for Willow, for Eden, and then I'm also going to leave Josie's link down there for you as well. That's a brand that I personally think is really fantastic and a good option if you are a woman over the age of 35. And as always, if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to let me know. And my biggest takeaway always when I am sharing content around GLP-1s is that, again, I'm super supportive of it as long as you're doing it in a healthy, sustainable manner. And that means you're prioritizing your strength training and protein so that you can maintain your muscle and so that you can get the body composition that you want. Because you don't want to just lose weight and just look like a smaller version of yourself at the end of it. You want to actually have that shape in the body that you're looking for, which most of us describe as a lean, toned look. You can do that through strength training, through prioritizing protein, and through some other healthy habits that I am happy to help you with inside my Simply Strong app. I'll leave the link down below for that as well. And then I have a couple of articles that I wrote about GLP-1s and strength training, why they're important, things like that. It's some pretty good literature to read if you are newer to these concepts, you're just kind of exploring things. I want to make sure that you understand everything, my position on it and what my recommendations are. Have a great day.